All right, let's dive right into this. We're going to explore a really powerful argument that asks a pretty tough question. When someone in a community messes up, when they fall, what's the right response? Is the goal to cast them out, or is it to bring them home? The answer we're going to unpack from our source material today, well, it might just surprise you.
This sentence right here, this is the key. It's the whole ballgame. The entire argument we're about to explore is built on this one powerful idea. It's saying that the core message isn't about separation or kicking people out for good. No, it's about a constant, never-ending invitation to return. Everything else flows from this.
Okay, so a claim that bold needs some serious backup, right? Where does this idea even come from? Well, the argument starts by looking at what it calls a fundamental pattern, a kind of divine heartbeat that is always pushing towards restoration, not rejection.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. This perspective basically reframes the entire biblical narrative into one long story of pursuit. Think about it. From Adam in the garden, the call isn't get out, it's where are you? The prophets, even at their most intense, the call is return to me. And finally, Christ is presented as the ultimate seeker. The big idea here is a God who is always moving towards the lost, not just sitting back and waiting. The theme isn't judgment, it's a relentless, active pursuit.
So, this pattern of restoration, this constant pursuit, where does it peak? Well, it all finds its ultimate expression in Jesus, who is presented here as the living, breathing embodiment of this entire principle. And you don't have to look far for the evidence. Just look at his actions. He consistently went toward the very people society was pushing away. Every interaction, every meal was about recovery, about gaining back someone who was lost. It was never about cutting them off for good. This instruction is just a perfect example. And notice the specific language used. The goal of confronting someone isn't to win an argument or to punish them, it's to gain your brother. That completely reframes the whole purpose of discipline, doesn't it? It turns it from an act of judgment into an act of restoration.
And this idea wasn't just a one-off. It carried right into the early church. The example of Paul in the church in Corinth shows that even when correction was sharp, it had one clear purpose: to bring about healing, to keep someone from being totally consumed by sorrow. It was a temporary measure, not a life sentence.
And this brings us right to the central conflict in the text. It's this dangerous potential for discipline, a tool that's meant for healing, to be twisted and misused as a weapon for permanent exclusion.
This slide just lays it out so clearly. You've got two paths. On one side, there's the all-too-human tendency to sever ties, to cast away, to excommunicate, to slam the door shut. But on the other side, there's what the source calls the divine mandate: to heal, to restore, to reconcile, and to keep the doors wide open.
And this is where the argument takes a really powerful turn. It redefines a key concept that's so often used to justify exclusion: holiness. The argument is that holiness is not about creating some pure, isolated bubble. No, it's about wholeness, a kind of completeness that's only found in compassionate, restorative love. And to really drive this point home, the source brings up one of the most famous parables there is, the Good Shepherd. You remember the story, right? The shepherd leaves the 99 sheep that are perfectly safe to go out and find the one that wandered off. And then comes the critique. It flips that parable right on its head. It accuses those who practice permanent exclusion of doing the exact opposite. It says you're so busy guarding the 99 that you're actively driving the one away. It's a sharp and totally unforgettable charge. So this contrast gets developed even further through a series of really powerful metaphors. They pit our human-built systems of exclusion against this divine principle of open access for everyone. I mean, just look at this contrast. On one side, you have all these symbols of exclusion: a wall, a fence, a judge's gavel, a lock. And on the other, you have symbols of invitation: a torn veil that grants access, a table where everyone can sit, a servant's towel, and a key that opens doors. It's really a choice between building barriers and building bridges. This quote really captures the heart of the whole mission. This open door is an irreversible divine invitation. The argument is simple: no human being has the right to shut a door that God has propped open. So what's the big takeaway from all this? The argument doesn't just critique what's going wrong. It ends with this urgent call for believers to embrace what it says is their primary ministry: the ministry of reconciliation.
The entire argument gets distilled down into these three clear, actionable steps. It's a direct challenge to move from separation to restoration. First, stop cutting off the wounded. Second, defend holiness, not with judgment, but with compassion. And third, just start. Start doing the work of reconciling.
And this is the ultimate vision. The source material paints this picture of a spiritual community that functions less like a courtroom, which is all about rules and punishment, and a lot more like a home, which is defined by love and mercy. And so the whole argument leaves us with this one last provocative question. It shifts the focus away from judging other people and turns it right back onto our own hearts. It's not asking if we were right, but if we love the way we were loved. And that, well, that's a question that's designed to stick with you for a while.